Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Hey, how about that right in?
Woo!
We are live from the Andrew Downs AKC Marketing Studio, sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company and Green Beret Realty. So what do you say, guys? How about that right in?
Boy, are my arms tired. Oh,
that's really funny.
Oh, wow.
Hangover reference? No?
No, sorry.
No? Okay.
Jim, you look festive there, bud.
Well, thanks. I thought I'd do it in the living room here and have the Christmas tree behind me and some other stuff there on the wall.
Joy. So, I love it. You decorated that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did a lot of it.
You ever seen 12 Christmases? It's about Jim.
I've had 12 Christmases.
That's about you.
Well, I knew. I was going to say it before you did, so.
Jim, how many Christmases do you actually have?
3.
Bullshit.
4. I'm going with 4.
No.
It's at least 8.
No, it's not. It's 4.
No.
Yeah. It's 4.
No. Okay.
No, we don't believe you. Sorry.
Hey, don't then. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I'm walking off.
Bye.
Oh, dang, I love you guys.
Good stuff.
So let's recap our last episode. It's been a little while since we've been on, but last episode we talked about
weren't we supposed to be on last week, Sam?
Yeah, I couldn't make it. I had a prior engagement.
And this is our fault, though, really, because we didn't check with Missy first to see what his schedule is like. Yeah. Sam really doesn't know his schedule until the day of, or somebody tells him what he's doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's our fault.
It is. We should know more by now. That
we'll talk to Missy about it, and
so
make sure everything's good.
At the end here, I have our next podcast on the 8th of January because we fall on holidays now, the next couple. So
yeah,
we'll want Missy to make sure that you're clear then. But
I hope she's watching so she can know.
We'll text her afterwards.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anyway, proceed.
Yeah. So we talked to Joe Segrist, the Norwalk girls basketball coach. Also talked about new rule changes. Jim gave us all the info on that. And we gave you our upcoming schedule, which we've been working hard on the hardwood.
Grateful to have Joe on here. That was fun.
Yes.
Absolutely. Really enjoyed that.
Grateful for him. Yep.
Oh, they're having a pretty good start to the season. So Congrats to them, and we'll see them down the road here. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Anything else to add from that episode? Anything on the rules, Jim?
No, I think we're going to discuss a little bit of that during our Fools Rules time. But, I think that the best thing I think we got out of this, or that came into effect this season, is no 5-second count closely guarded while dribbling in the front court. That's a great, with a 35-second shot clock, there's no need for one.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep. I do love, I think it's made the game better for sure. It's cleaned it up, I think. And I haven't seen any arguments otherwise, so.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Hey, we got new jackets.
Oh, man, yeah. Sam complained a little bit about them, though. Really a little upset about it.
Well, here, let's give a little look here. So shout out to Jim for putting these together for us, these nice Puma jackets here. Jim, do you want to shout out, who kind of put them together for us?
I got them from BSN and Pella, and now I can't remember the name for where we got them at, or actually where they did the stitching, but I can get that real quick. But
quick
Phil Hemming is my BSN rep that I talk to, and he does a really good job. When I need something, he is always right on top of it. So it's been really nice. It is Windmill Print and Stitch. Pella.
Nice.
Did them.
Nice. Very nice. I do have a problem with mine.
Wait. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, our first run with those was Tuesday night. Well, last night, yeah. And Jim brings those in for us, kind of a surprise. So Merry Christmas to us. I'm not sure that was the right crowd for having the podcast on the back there, but we'll go with it.
Yeah. It was fine.
So Sam, what was wrong with yours?
Well, actually, I've got two issues. Okay, so the first one is, they're great looking jackets. I'm pretty sure, I didn't look at the tag, but I'm pretty sure it's 1,000% wool in the sleeve. They are hot.
But now
they are hot.
But the gym was definitely warm last night too, right?
Yeah, but okay. That's not my biggest problem, because I like warming up, getting a little bit of a sweat before we go.
Yeah.
But my bigger issue is, if you don't know, I'm right-handed, and it's very natural for me to zip a jacket or a coat with my right hand. So I go to zip the jacket, and it's a left-handed zipper. Nobody else's is left-handed. Why is mine left-handed?
Which Sam found out that we kind of talked to him about, that most women's jackets or buttons or anything are left-handed. But the jacket is exactly the same as mine, but his is on the left side. So we think there was a little bit of a mistake there, but it's kind of fun to watch him actually go grab the right side, and then he has to go to the left to zip it. So
yeah,
it's a kick out of that.
I swear to God, you did that on purpose.
I did not.
Is it even an option when you buy a jacket? Like, can you get a right or left-handed zipper? That's an honest question.
Well, I don't know that. Usually, like I say, women's jackets and that do zip from the left side and left hand.
Why?
I don't know, because they're different.
I'll be honest. The only reason I know that's really a thing is from The Office, when Michael had the women's suit jacket. If you guys remember that, I don't know if you guys are Office fans or not, but
so here's my next question. If anybody's a seamstress or anything, can you switch a left-handed zipper to a right-handed zipper? Because that really bothers me. Feel free to comment.
I don't really think you can. I mean, just knowing the jacket, I don't think you can, but
I can't, but somebody can.
I mean, we do have that extra one if you want to have it printed on there also, but we don't.
I wonder
with anchor on them.
I wonder if Casey's jacket is also a women's jacket.
Well, I don't know. It should be.
Wait, we decided mine's not a women's jacket, okay?
We did. We looked through everything. We couldn't find it, but, at least I passed right over that.
Next thing, we haven't had one kernel of popcorn all season yet.
No.
I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah. I will say last night we were at North last night. The scorekeeper for us, she gave a popcorn rating to us as she was eating during I think that was halftime, or was it between games? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
halftime. It was between games. It was between games. Yeah. And she gave North's popcorn a 7.0. So that's really all we have to do.
But she even said
popcorn.
Though it's normally a 10, but she said it was too salty last night. And that's
kind of like Jim, a little salty.
I can get that way sometimes.
I know.
Hey Jim, you said I got a comment here I got to throw up. Phil Hemming, you said, right?
Yes.
Andrew Barber here.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
A little podcaster. Got another one here. So good stuff. Nice. See, very everybody cool. Knows somebody that you know, Jim. You've been around 70, 80 years, however long you've been around. And
yep. Left-handed zippers and all.
Not quite 60 yet.
It's coming.
But you're 59 and 11/12.
Yeah. Yes.
For sure.
Oh.
Well, hey, should we talk about kind of what we've been doing?
Absolutely.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. First, and maybe this is kind of an omen for how the season is going to go.
Oh, please no.
But so November 19th was our first scrimmage, first time we were getting on the floor at Van Meter against Norwalk, and it was girls scrimmages, JV varsity scrimmages, and it was supposed to be 4 of us, right? Us 3, and then Brent Behrens, and sometimes we'll do that in scrimmages to just get everybody up and down the floor, take a little breather at the same time, just kind of get to going. So Sam, always the jokester, and always pretty much late till this year.
It's,
getting better.
I'm turning it over.
You've been amazing, so I'll give you that. But Sam texted me about, I don't know, a little bit before we were supposed to be there. He says, mind you, the game started at 4. He said, I'll be there at 4:15. That's funny, Sam.
Funny.
2 minutes later, it had to be, right? Like just a couple minutes later, he calls me, and I'm like, what the hell? Here we go. He's like, hey, I've been in an accident. Sure, yeah. 4:50 now. It's now 4:30. Well, you were actually in an accident. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, I mean, kind of self-explanatory, the investigation proved that it was not my fault.
Woo!
Somebody pulled out in front of me and I T-boned them on the highway. Luckily, I got down to maybe 45 miles an hour on impact, but just got my truck back today and all's good. So,
yeah. And a lot of people know us a little bit in that, but we could do that at any point in time. Like as far as joking around with that kind of stuff. So you never know for a while. Like,
I remember I was talking to Ben and I was like, hey, I just got in an accident. Shut up. When are you going to be here? I was like, I think I said so. I was a little flustered, but I think I said something like, I mean, I can FaceTime you or something if you want, but I literally have been in an accident. I'll send you pictures.
Right.
And then I think Ben said something like, oh, shit.
Well, and then I'm like, well, what time do you think you're going to make it? And, because I'm kind of caught off guard too. I'm like, oh, wait, this is real? And I'm like, well, no, he was in an accident. He's not coming. Like,
yeah, I'll be there 9:30.
So Jim, because of his job then, wasn't going to make it till like 5 o'clock. Again, the scrimmage started earlier. So literally, it's Brent and I doing 2-man mechanics for the JV game. So first on-court experience of the season, and we're doing 2-man, which I haven't done in a long time. So I'm like, hey, Brent, just point at me where to go if I'm messing it up or whatever. So we got through it.
Shout out to Brent for stepping up.
Yes, for sure. Brent Barons, friend of the program. We got to get him on here sometime soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something.
Not an ideal start.
No.
0 stars. Do not recommend.
And honestly, I guess maybe it's worth pointing out is like that's kind of some of the stuff that can happen when you're reffing. Is we're on the road, however many miles or hours each night, and it's just kind of part of it. So we've been pretty fortunate so far. I mean, we've hit some raccoons here and there, but never really been in a blizzard. I remember going up to, I think it was Hampton Dumont. Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Almost. We were going up to Hampton Dumont one time, and it was kind of major blizzard in Des Moines and clear up there, but we were late. Like we got there when we were supposed to tip off, so we got a hold of them on the way. So I mean, weird things happen when you're traveling like that. So we're glad you're okay though.
Hey, lucky for you guys, I'm still here, so you still get to see me.
That's right.
Lucky us.
Sure.
So then the 22nd, we went down to your place, Jim. Got a break in your brand new gym, and that was pretty awesome. That's a fantastic facility. You've got
very nice facility.
Yeah, that was one thing that I really wanted to do was once that was done and the first basketball, I know it was a scrimmage because I'm not going to do obviously a varsity game at Melcher Dallas, but we ran the scrimmage. It's the Achieve scrimmage. She run it just like a regular game, so it was nice to do that. And what's nice to hear is we got some really good. The kids really enjoyed us doing the game. I still hear comments from them about the game and that. So it was definitely a fun experience. And the gym is way more than that I expected before we started building it.
Yeah,
Yep.
It was fun. It was a fun night.
Shoot, you know what? I have a picture of us with Addie that we got that night that I didn't put up tonight. So I'll try to maybe get that in here when we're on our commercial break or something. I'll make a note to get that
awesome.
Up because it was fun to watch her in action, and I think she enjoyed having us there too. So
yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah.
So I think the highlight for me that night, besides the picture with Addie, was Jim yelling at his own coaches.
I didn't yell.
That was good.
Did I?
You dad voiced it for sure.
Well, I can't tell them all the time that we have this shortage of officials, and you're going to get what you get, and that's how it goes. And if you're going to act the way that we don't want you to, we're going to get less officials out there. So I just I'm hoping that my coaches show better example of that all the time. I guess I expect more just because of what I do and that. So and I know it's tough because Ben will tell you when I was a coach of basketball, I was sometimes not very pleasant on the sideline. And I realized that after 2 or 3 years, and I think I became much better towards the end of my coaching, which was only about 6 years. But it's a job that not many people want to do, and we're trying to get more people to do it. And you're not going to get more people by continually questioning what the officials are doing on the floor. I mean, I don't think any coach would like it if we said, I don't know why you ran that offense. It sure didn't work.
So it's a terrible play.
Yeah, that'd be a very nice way of putting it.
Why did your kid throw it straight out of bounds? I mean,
gee, that didn't work.
Have you thought about not fouling there?
Yeah. I mean, so I sometimes
the point is to put the ball in the hoop, coach.
Yeah. Sometimes I just have to remind everybody that it's that we have to behave accordingly.
Yep.
You handled yourself fine, Jim.
You did. I'm kind of just joking. It was all in good fun, I think. So, November 25th, we headed to Central Decatur for a boys' jamboree, and I always kind of like those because you get to see several teams. So we had Central Decatur and Mormon Trail for a quarter or for a half, and then we had Mount Airy and I-35 for a half, and then we had Wayne and Lamoni for a half. So it was good to kind of see all those coaches and all those teams. And of course, Zach and Bonnie take care of us, and Guy even showed up that night. So shout out to the folks at CD that take care of us down there. So
yeah, I always like going down there. You get treated very well there, and
and that pizza.
Oh,
I got to talk
that was
about
fire.
Do we remember where it was from? What was the name of it?
Shelley's Pizza.
Yeah, it was like a local place. And
some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, that was good stuff.
I could go for a Shelley's Pizza right now, boys.
That's right. We'll see if Zach delivers. Bonnie would.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, she would.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So then the 29th, the day after Thanksgiving, Sam talked us into doing something really stupid and doing scrimmages at Winterset the day after Thanksgiving.
Hey, he didn't talk me into it, though.
I know. So we
probably had a Christmas.
We conned Brent into joining us, and that was kind of fun, though. I mean, it was good to get up and down. Winterset played Atlantic, and then Atlantic played Pella Christian, and then Pella Christian played Winterset. So kind of, I guess you'd call that a triangular maybe. And it was a lot of basketball, man. We worked our butts off that day.
It was. Yep.
So good times. So then our first actual game was December 3rd.
Oh.
All the way up at Fort Dodge. Shout out to Chuck for sending us to Fort Dodge.
I got home at 1:10 in the morning.
Yeah, I was right before 1 o'clock too.
Yeah.
So. And we went to Fort Dodge and didn't have snow. So, I mean, what's the odds of that?
Yeah.
That was good.
and nobody got sick.
Nobody puked at Quick Star.
But we did go back to Quick Start just for fun.
Yes.
Just to see the scene of the crime, basically. So
turns out they cleaned the puke out of the sink.
Okay. Too far. I hope after about a year they would.
Yep. The hospitality up there was fantastic.
Yes.
They took care of us. Quite a spread. They had brought in taco meat and cheese and tortillas. And the only complaint I would have is that the room we were in was approximately 95 degrees.
Oh, that might be on the low end.
It
was borderline sauna.
It was.
I asked one of the janitors afterwards about the heat and wanted to know if the floor had heating in it. Because you took your shoes off and it was warm, the floor. And he said, no. He said, it is about the warmest room in the building and they don't know why.
All the ducts are going there.
Yeah.
Yes. To back up, Sam, if you remember the Winterset gym on that Friday, they must have turned the heat off when the school day ended that Friday before. Because it was like 40 degrees in there.
Yeah, it was actually warmer outside.
I've got a comment from Brent. I'm sure he'll be happy to see this right here on the screen.
That's fair.
And we got more. Andrew, all the taco meat was from Taco Tico in Fort Dodge. Well, it was fantastic.
And Ben, remember I taught you something new.
Where?
At Fort Dodge.
Yeah. So they had the bags for the walking taco as well. So Sam put everything in his walking taco and then he mixed it up and dumped it in the tortilla. So it was like, I don't even know what you call that. A walking burrito, maybe?
Yeah.
Walking, all of that.
Taco-rito.
Taco-rito.
That's good stuff, man.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I guess to talk about the basketball, both games were challenging.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that first, couple games out for both boys and girls this year has been less than fundamental, is what I'll say.
Agreed.
Muddy, scattered. I don't know. We'll kind of talk about that when we get Casey on here. He's going to join us.
Borderline rugby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were talking. We guessed around 6 or 7 technical fouls all of last season. Like, we just don't really give that many because I feel like we can kind of ref our way out of a lot of those situations unless it's pretty cut and dried where you F-bomb me or whatever, right? We had 4 the first week. So that, I don't know. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's the season. I don't know. It just feels a little weird so far.
Hopefully it's not the norm.
Yeah, I sure hope not.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. December 6th, we were at Oskaloosa against Pella Christian. And again, Jim wasn't with us, so we added Brent. And Brent drove the Batmobile for us, so that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
The Batmobile? What's this all about?
It's a fancy minivan.
Oh.
It was good times.
Nice.
So way off the topic, maybe not, but
it's hard to believe.
So Brent was telling us that what kind of van was that, Ben?
Isn't it a Nissan Sentra?
No, that's a car. Anyway.
No, he's going to chime in, I hope, here. What kind of Nissan is it, Brent?
Or anyway.
We'll come back to it.
So Brent opens the back tailgate.
That's right.
For Ben to put his behemoth bag in. And there's a wheel and tire just chilling out in the very back. And we're like, so what's the wheel and tire for? You wouldn't believe this, but these things don't come with spare tires. So his van doesn't come with a spare tire. It comes with some sort of...
Well, it's lighter because it's a hybrid or something, right? So they don't include this tire.
My Jeep Compass does not have one either.
They give you foam to put in this tire. It's flat. Toyota Sienna. Thank you, Brent. Yeah. So if you're buying a Toyota Sienna hybrid, just know that you're not getting a spare tire with that SOB.
So then he took the family, which is like 17 kids roughly, on vacation this summer with that in the back. And I'm like, what did you guys take? 1 pair of underwear and a change of socks and that's it? We'll let them air dry at night? Like, where would you fit all that?
This is a full-size rim and tire. This is not a donut. This is a full-size rim and tire that goes on a van.
He obviously knows now with Ben's suitcase in there that he could obviously get a larger suitcase in there because it's like you're going on a 2-week vacation. I mean, 2 weeks of 14 days. No, 14 days of changing your clothes every day.
Jim, you're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, I know. I know where it's going. Oh, but I've got everything everybody needs in there.
All right, Jim. And last night at North, you were wearing some, I don't know, it was like a underwear brace, right?
It was a jock strap from the 70s.
It was not. It was for my groin, actually for my hamstring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call those jock straps.
For your hamstring?
Look it up, Jim.
Okay.
I appreciate the commenters tonight. This is gold.
Oh.
Anyway, so Jim was having trouble with his strap thing. And so we come in at halftime in the girls' game. He's like, you got scissors in that bag? Well, it took me a while, but did I have scissors in that bag?
Well, yeah, you had to go through 25 pockets.
I found them, Jim. I saved your life.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Just cut it off. Just cut it off.
Okay, we gonna talk about the game and all there. Or we move.
These are the stupid things that happen to us. I will say, I should probably say this. Other things that happen on road trips as an official. My tummy wasn't feeling very good that day.
Mm.
And I had to remove myself between games to take care of some issues in that area. I made it. No mishaps.
Why did you think that was, Ben? Why did you think your tummy was off?
Well, I had a nutritional shake that morning, and I thought maybe I just got to the poop part of it. I don't know.
A lot of gut health in there, he said. I must have gotten all the gut health powder. That's what Ben said. And then it turns out it wasn't the shake.
It was not the shake. So was it Monday? Brett texts me and he's like, 5 times today. And then Sam texts and he's like, yeah, Sam's like, oh, I'm not feeling good. So it happens, man. I mean, we're around so many kids and saliva and the whistles and touching the ball, and like it's kind of a gross thing when you think about it. Ugh, bad.
Yeah, okay, let's move on.
Okay. Ballard versus Boone on the 10th. I got nothing. It was good. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
The 13th, DCG and Newton, I think were one of like 2 games in the state that canceled. I don't know why. Everything turned out fine that night, so that was unfortunate. Would have been a fun night. And then last night we were at North with Roosevelt, and Sam's dad Gary tagged along. Did he have any thoughts after last night?
Not really. He'd never been to North before to a basketball game, so he's retired, and my mom kicks him out of the house anyway. So he's like, "Yeah, mind if I tag along and go to North?" But no, I think he was a little surprised about the basketball, as far as he's kind of old school, running motion offense and having a purpose to an offense, and it was chaotic, I guess, to put it politely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of about everything we've seen so far has been chaotic.
Yeah.
And to kind of put some of the struggles that some of those schools see with enrollment and kids out for sports, the girls' game was 62-2. And I felt bad for North for, they didn't have a lot of kids. They don't have a lot of skill, but, glad they're still doing it, but it was,
But they played hard the whole time.
The thing was, they never
just go out and give up.
I mean, sometimes their body language was defeated because,
right?
How could you not be? But they never quit, and they played till the final horn. So
that was
I
agree.
Good. One more comment from Brent. This is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick here. I think we probably should go to halftime. Then we'll get Casey on, and we'll start talking about flops and some plays.
Oh, Casey's coming on.
Yeah. I think it's good to kind of.
It is.
Have his opinion on some of the plays we're going to see here. So anyway, let's go to halftime.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
When energy meets precision, anything is possible.
I'm Carter Hawley, the Chief Energy Officer of the Iowa State Cyclones. I'm full of energy on and off the court. but nothing gives me more energy than helping families find their dream home. And that's where Green Beret Realty comes in. They're more than just realtors. They're a team dedicated to getting things right for you and your family, just like we get it right on the court.
No basket. That was on the floor before the shot. Out of bounds.
Come on. Can you believe that? You can't take that away from me.
That call was absolutely terrible. Are you guys cautiously trying to be this bad? I mean, does your mom not love you?
Have you seen how old my partner is? My back hurts already from carrying him all night. And I've heard enough out of you.
So you're gone. Fine.
Jim, are you blind? Basket's good. We've got a three-pointer. Sometimes it takes a team to get the call right. And when you're buying a home, you want a team that makes all the right calls. That is Green Beret Realty. And here's the best part. When you buy or sell a home through Dan at Green Beret Realty and mention this ad, he'll make a donation to the We Will Collective, helping student athletes like me thrive on and off the court.
That call's so easy, even we can make it.
Green Beret Realty, because getting the call right means everything.
Oh, you standing back there in those sunglasses is so good.
I thought the same thing.
Hey, real quick, I did want to show this. I was able to get this up here, Jim.
Oh,
hey.
Nice. Shout out to Addie.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yep, wearing our nice 3 Blind Refs t-shirt.
What's it say on the back, Jim? Jim's biggest fan or something.
Yes,
like
Jim's biggest fan on the back of it.
Nice.
That's
well,
awesome.
At least you got one in the world.
I know. Hey.
All right, let's get Casey Pelzer in here with us. He's looked like he's having fun, and he's very festive tonight. So, Casey, how are you doing tonight?
Just enjoying the Christmas spirit. And Jim, you have 2 fans. I'm a big fan of yours as well, bud.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
ACN. What's your middle name?
Nolan.
Supposed
to be a baseball player, and that didn't work out too well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe basketball officiating's your thing.
Trying.
You're a jerk.
I'm kidding.
Guys.
Hey, well, I was just looking. I think we start reffing with you quite a bit here after the first of the year. So,
yeah, I've been looking at my schedule a little bit. I think we got a few games coming up, so that'll be fun. I still don't have one with Jim on the schedule. I don't think that's disappointing.
Well,
lucky.
You're filling in for me. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Tell Sam to take a break.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, hey, we wanted to have you on here to kind of talk about flopping and some plays that we've seen lately, just because we have a lot of weird things, I think, that have happened already. You know, we always say that there's always plays that you've never seen before every single night. And I think this year for sure has held true to that. So, Jim, you want to talk about, you know, just the basics of the flop rule again real quick, and we'll kind of go into some loopholes and kind of how we're, now that we've seen it, I've got a couple plays where we have flops that I'm going to show video and just kind of discuss it as a group here, I guess. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, we talked about it before, but it's just faking being fouled, basically, is what it is. And as you can see, I'm not reading through that whole thing, but we now have a warning for it, which we give a team warning and not exactly when it happens. We'll talk about some of those situations. And then the next time it happens on that same team, it's a team technical. You know, some of the things I guess that I don't like about it is it really never penalizes the person who is doing it. Yes, it does penalize the team and so forth, but and we've kind of talked about it. We think people are probably, as officials, are making this a little bit more complicated than what it really is. You know, because on a lot of these, even though we do kind of have a flop, there is a little bit of contact on a lot of them, and just call it a block. You know, we've kind of talked about those. Now, if there is completely no contact, we probably have to do something about that, obviously, with the new rule. But, again, if the defense fakes it, we're going to continue to let the play go until we have this here. Defensive player faking being fouled. Withhold the whistle until the offensive team scores, which could include repeated attempts at the basket. So they can shoot the ball, get their own rebound, shoot again. We're going to have a delayed signal on that, delayed call on that. And until the offending team gains control or the ball becomes dead. So if it goes through the basket on a made basket, then it becomes dead, and we are going to stop play and give the warning. So, that's kind of a tough one a lot of times, because you always think about in the game of basketball, when a foul or violation occurs, for the most part, the whistle comes right away. Now, obviously, on lane violations, on the defensive team in a free throw situation, we have a delayed dead ball, which is similar to what this is.
I think one of the issues, though, and Casey and I have talked a lot about this, is to that point, if you have to wait 30 seconds to a minute for that next subsequent event to happen to stop this and have that delay, I mean, a lot of things can happen in that time frame. So I don't love the way that's written. I don't know that stopping it right away is the right answer either. But I think like what we've talked about is think about when we have an injured player down. As soon as there's kind of a stoppage in play, maybe they're just throwing the ball around the perimeter or something like that. Generally, that's when we're stopping that and allowing somebody to come on. And that's kind of where I feel like we need to be better than, waiting for, like I said, 30 minutes or 30 seconds to a minute or something like that. Thoughts on that, guys? Easy.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely agree on that. I mean, you think about it. How many times do we have an offensive rebound and we get back out and, we shoot the ball again, another offensive rebound? Easily 30 seconds to a minute could happen. And by that time, most of the time, the coaches have probably forgot about that even happened during that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Casey, you've had a lot of talk with your fellas out there. What was your consensus kind of?
My talk has been, don't call it.
I like that.
And if you're gonna call it, you better know how to administer it. I guess as I think back over all the games I've done recently, and I'm going even several seasons back, I can't hardly think of a time where this was a problem. And what I mean by problem is, and my first thought was, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe with some of you guys, it's reffing, I think it was Solon girls state tournament. And they had a really good guard, and she just kept falling down, and it made it hard to officiate. So you know what happened, guys? You won't believe it. I said, would you please quit falling down? And you know what happened? She didn't fall down again.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So I guess joking aside, like the big message I've been trying to give to the guys I work with is like, try to talk them out of it and warn them verbally before we just right away want to throw our arms down because we see the people on TV do it, right? Most of the time, if you tell us, a kid, hey, stay on your feet, they stay on their feet. So kind of last resort for me, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep. Casey, I remember we had a boy that did that last year out west, and I remember us having that discussion because of what we'd seen on film. And I think same thing. We just said in the game, like, that's enough of doing that. And it took care of it, really. Yeah. So I like that. I like not calling it, especially if it's going to interrupt the flow of the game. The rule used to be it went right to a technical foul to the player, basically, right? So they're trying to have a warning system in place where it doesn't go right to the player. I don't know that I've ever had a technical foul on it, but I've definitely talked to a kid and said, if you do that again, it's going to be a technical foul.
Agreed. I can, if you remember when we did the Bluegrass Conference Championship games at Moulton Udell, and where their ACA was playing, and a kid shooting a 3-pointer for ACA, and kicks his leg up. Nobody touches him, and he falls on the floor, and their crowd goes crazy. And we came back down the floor, and you and Scotty, I believe, right?
Yep.
Had a discussion on something else. So I just nice and calm went over and talked to the kid. I said, "Hey, we don't need that. You know, you nobody touched you. You incited the whole crowd, and we don't need that." I said, "Next time it's going to be a technical." You guys were still talking. I went over and told the coach that. You remember what I told you? What the response of the coach said?
I think I do, actually.
He says, "Well, I thought he got fouled too." So, you're trying to, not.
You're trying to help them out.
Yeah, and they just don't get it. Now, I think the kid got it. He knew. I mean, I had, for once, had great position, and there was this, 3 feet in between the defender and him. During the shot, after the shot, he just fell down, and he's probably done it before and probably gotten 3 shots out of it.
Yep. I don't know if you saw those up there. Jamie is the coach of Solon, Jamie Smith, and it looks like he liked that you came to the player and to him to talk about it rather than giving the warning or the technical foul or anything. Yeah. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, and I think for the basketball I officiate, and when I say that, I mean like rural Iowa basketball. I don't know what y'all see in the cities as far as the offensive player driving to the hoop and you see the head jerk back. You see that in college. We don't see it too much in rural Iowa, but there are a few teams that have been on my radar for a couple of years where their coaches want them to take charges so bad it's a team issue, right? So they're just trying to get that charge, make coach happy and get the big applause and all that. And so there's been a team issue, and I guess it's okay to have in your back pocket, but I'm just afraid some officials are just going to go to it too soon right away. So I haven't experienced that yet, but my dog wants in on the get out of here.
Hey, we're pet friendly around here.
Yeah, well, like your sweater.
Well, it was ugly sweater day at school today, and so
Snot?
You nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have a picture of you, Sam, to put on there, but
all you got to do is ask.
Ours is supposed to be tomorrow too, and I think I'm just going to wear a sweater with a mirror on the front of it.
I thought of that, and
that is such a dad thing, Jim.
Right? I was just going to say
that. So, an example, I did see the flopping call this year at a junior high game at Melcher Dallas, and it probably. The kid flopped, and the official came and talked to me about it afterwards, and I said, "Yeah, you made the right call." I said, "But did there end up being some contact?" "Yeah, a little bit." Call the block. Just call a block on it, and it makes it easier for it. And tell and as you call it, tell the kid, "Hey, take the charge. Stay on your feet, or you're going to get a block." That'll solve most of it.
All right, so I've got 2 examples which really cover the play that you talked about, Casey, and then the play that you talked about, Jim. So I'm going to play these real speed, and then I'm going to try to slow it down and kind of show what happened here. So, Casey, I'm going to start with one of yours where we have a no call on kind of a head bob type thing. So here we go.
Here in this first half, several travels, a couple no-look passes that went crazy.
You see that?
So let's try to.
Yeah, that was.
All right. So it kind of okay, just a second.
That was at Oski, yeah.
Yep. So So they're kind of together here before we inbound, and then that camera angle is going to change here. So there's no push off. He just has his arm there and holds it there. And watch our result here. Oh.
Look passes that went crazy.
So let's watch that again.
Chart for Oski here in this first half. Several travels, a couple no-look passes that went crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like a boxer almost.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fourth quarter stuff. And we'd had a game with a lot of fouls, no flow at all, and it just didn't feel right to address it, I guess, at that point in the game. Did you agree, Sam?
Yeah, it was something that I just passed on. I did tell him at a next dead ball, I was like, don't do that. Like, it's not necessary. So, but yeah, I didn't feel like it was worth stopping the game and administering anything.
Okay. The next one's going to be where we have a little bit of contact. So again, I'll play this fast and then we'll kind of slow it down and kind of go through it here. So here we go. All right, so let's back that up. So this is kind of a weird play that's coming from me at C. He crosses over, ends over on Jim's side, and the defender right here decides before really even the play arrives that he's going to go to the floor. And it's kind of blocked here, but he goes to the floor with – they probably touched, but not much contact. And I went with block and one. To me, that was going to stop that kid from doing that again in this game. That was my thought process on it, I guess.
And Ben, even though there wasn't much contact, I mean, there was some enough to warrant a foul, in my opinion. But the fact that he fell down with such little contact and didn't allow the shooter to land safely, that's also enough to warrant a foul.
Yep. So I guess, this conversation we're having, it's not like we're saying, hey, don't use the rule. But I think we want everybody to use it more wisely and be conscious of when we're using it and how you're using it when officiating your way around those type of things, or using a block, or having communication with the player or coaches. I think those are sometimes better choices than going right to this type of thing, I guess. So thoughts?
Yeah, I think the one where you're maybe going to call the warning, you got two post players. Post player is making a post move, turns around. There's no contact. The kid just completely falls on the floor. I mean, you wait, the kid makes the basket, or, hopefully makes the basket on that. And then you can give the warning on that, because that's, it's easy. It's right there. Every single person sees it. And, they're definitely trying to draw something on that, and there's nothing.
So this Jamie's got a question on when does safety come into play when making the call. I think that last video is kind of, Sam, you kind of alluded to it, is because he's on the floor underneath that shooter, it is certainly a safety issue. So I'm happy we went with a block rather than, that kid maybe sprains an ankle coming down on him, or, then we get, punches thrown or something. A lot of bad things can happen there if we don't have a foul, I think.
Yep.
Right.
Casey, is that you?
Yeah, she got it up. So I didn't want that dog on my lap. It's Christmas vacation, right? It's like
No, just nosing through the trash.
She'll be all right.
Oh, it's best just to let him finish.
Little Mississippi Leghound.
Tis the season.
One last thing on that. Garrett Wirtz had given me a call, and we were talking about a loophole on this call as well. Let's say you're an offensive team. We're under 30 seconds in the game, and the possession arrow favors your team. The rule as it's written, if it's an offensive flop and we have a shot, then we're going to go to the jump ball, because when the ball is in the air, we have no control. So we have to go to alternating possession. So let's say you're down 2 or 3, you take that shot and you see that it's not going to go in. If you flopped, then by rule, if we follow that, we would call that while the ball is in there, blow it dead, and then go to alternating possession. So not only, did you flop and get away with it, you are now getting the ball out of bounds to potentially have another shot at it. So I think that's a loophole that's not addressed. And that's why, to me, it makes more sense, especially on an offensive one, is to wait until possession happens on a rebound, whether it's the offensive team or defensive team, and then blow it dead. So I think Chuck had also mentioned you could have a similar type of loophole in the backcourt. Let's say you're getting close to 10. If the offense flops and they haven't had one, we could stop the game, go out of bounds, and now they have a new 10-second call, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple weird loopholes, and I don't expect that we would ever see those, but it could happen.
I feel
we probably will now that you just told everybody.
I know, right? Jamie's writing that down now.
I feel like it would be a super hard thing to call on the offense, because defensively you might be gaining an advantage because you make the offensive player fall down or something, right? But if the offensive player is the ones flopping, there is absolutely no advantage gained whatsoever.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I can see where it might be more likely to be called on the defense, but it's going to be a hard thing to call on the offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another funny comment. Oh, good stuff. All right, let's stop talking about flopping. I just wanted to hit that again because it's been talked about so much by coaches and players and officials, and I don't love it. I'm with Casey. Like, if we can avoid calling it at all costs, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, agreed.
So, all right, next thing. We're going to go through a few plays here that we've seen or some weird stuff that have happened. So this is an end of game situation, and we always talk about being ready at the tip, and we also need to be ready at the end of the game until we're off the floor. So I'm not going to give this any discussion pre-video, but I'm going to let it play and see what you think here. Okay, here we go.
There you go. Good job. Good job. Wow. Now, I'll tell you what. That was a very exciting 51-4.
All right. So if you didn't know what you were looking for there, did anybody catch kind of what happened?
Well, we've seen it, so I know.
I don't want to cheat.
Casey, you want to explain it?
I had no idea. First time I've seen it.
All right, let's go again here.
Just got to get a hand on it. There you go. Good job.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it real quick. So what we have a 2-point game. Norwalk is down the 2 points. They take a shot at the buzzer, and it's 0.3, I believe, left on the clock. So they have to have a tip, right? 0.4 or less, we have to tip it. We cannot catch it. They obviously don't get it, okay? So normally what would happen is we're going to sprint off the floor after this, and they're going to have their handshake line, I presume, right? But watch a little bit closer what happens.
Wow. Now.
Okay, see this pass to half court? The point guard just threw it to a Ballard player at half court.
I'll tell you what.
And then you see him go off screen here.
That was.
You can kind of tell what happened, though. He dunks it. What do you think, guys?
Yeah. Jurisdiction ends when?
When you're out of the confines of the playing area.
Right.
So let's look at that again.
Got to get a hand on it.
I'm going to forward it.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, so the dunk is happening about right here.
That was.
I've got two officials still running past this play. That's my problem with this, I guess. And I think we've discussed this quite a bit. To me, this is an unsporting act that is happening before the handshake line and before the officials are off the court. And I know it would take a big pair of kahunas to call this, but I feel like it has to be called. That's the more I've thought about it, the more that's how I feel strongly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I think you would be in the minority from just the number of officials that I've talked with. First off, a lot of confusion from just throwing the situation out there, how to administer it. Like, what are your options? So you better get it right, especially in a situation like this, right? Agree, you can call it, but I will say I know one of these coaches very well. And of all the talk about the game, that was never brought up. Like, had no idea, didn't think twice about it. But again, yeah, it happened.
Would it change your perception at all, or officials that you've talked to, if they saw the play before where there was some taunting by one team over the losing team that kind of led to this, I would say? You want to see it?
Yeah.
Stay here with it. Beautiful play. Right of him. Now the back screen. Now we're going to stay here with it.
So Norwalk's attempting to inbound this. Misses it.
Beautiful play.
You feel like that player in the middle is taunting?
I don't care for that.
So, again, we don't know what happened all the game, right? I mean, a lot of things we're seeing a few seconds of a game. So I'm not upset at the refs at all. I'm just throwing this out for discussion's sake because it's things that we need to be ready for. But having seen kind of the taunt, the play before, and then they go and dunk afterwards, like, again, I feel like I'm going to call a technical foul there. But to your point, I'm going to stop before I get off the floor and probably grab Jim or Sam or both of us and say, did you see this? Is this what we want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing? You guys got nothing? Come on, Pelzer.
Well, so like, what's an unsport? What do you call it? Unsportsman, whatever.
It's an unsporting technical foul. Yeah.
What is that? What, by definition, what is that?
I think that's a gray area. I think it's up to your perception of what that is.
I don't want to switch gears, but I want to let you guys in on something. For like the last year and a half, I've started reffing every game mad. And you guys have been very vocal about how I don't get mad. And let me tell you what makes me mad. And I don't know if it's the same thing before the game starts, is we're going to wipe each other's shoes during starting lineups, put a fake crown on the person's head, and then they get out there and they can't dribble or shoot the daggum ball. I'm serious. I'm tired of it. Like, can I tee people up for that? It's not, you can't do it during the game. Like, it's unsporting. Like, what are we doing? It's not dunking the ball after the fact, but how is it different before the game? I'm on the court and I'm watching you do these things that I wouldn't let you do after the tip. Furthermore, you travel every time you touch the ball. Like, it makes me so angry. I'm sorry. Like,
I think that's a broader discussion of the state of the game. And I don't disagree with you. I think basketball's terrible. I mean, we kind of alluded to it without saying it. Our games so far have been not great basketball at any level. Girls, boys, it does not matter. It has been messy, sloppy, we have called probably more fouls than we ever call, not because we want to. I would say if we could get away with 5 fouls a quarter and coast and have flow and everybody's happy, we would love that. It has not come close to happening.
And we mean 5 total by both teams.
Yes.
Not 5 on each team each quarter.
I guess my point was, before and after the game, you talk about jurisdiction, right? It's like,
yeah. Like,
I don't know what, it's probably not comparable. I'm with you. I don't think there's any place for something like that. And me in technical, so I'm probably not going to call one. Not surprised, Ben, that you would, but
I legitimately had like 2 or 3 total last year. Like, I am not that guy.
I had one, and it happened to be with Casey.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I remember that. Oh, we lost Sam.
Yeah, his internet timed out. Yeah.
All right, let's move on from that.
Okay.
I just
so Ben, just so I know, that situation, it's a technical. We're shooting 2 free throws
to determine whether
Right.
no, we're shooting one, and then if they make it, we shoot the second.
Sure, because if they miss the first one, it doesn't
then
matter.
it doesn't matter. So
Okay.
we're going to determine whether we go to overtime or not.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And I know that's probably not a popular opinion, but to me, it just seems so unsporting in my head to do that before the handshake line. That's my opinion. So,
Well, especially with all the debate about handshake lines, right? Like stuff happens and
right.
Yeah.
And even in the state we've had in the past
Right.
year or two where we've had a fight or 2 fights in lines, you're not telling me that couldn't have led to punches thrown?
it's more than fair. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably. I haven't watched the whole game, but I'm assuming it was a tightly contested, kind of, aggressive game between 2 aggressive teams.
Yeah.
So I would imagine there were some emotions there. Jamie has a comment. What if it had been a layup? Probably not a T in my mind. Oh, hold on. I'm going to get Sammy back here. Hey, welcome back, Sam.
Computer died. I'm back.
Oh, it's not the dial-up quit working in Winterset.
Hey, the top, it'll have a little battery and it'll show you like the bars, kind of like
Missy
a cell phone, maybe.
Missy didn't check it out beforehand.
It gave me a warning that my battery was low and it died 3 seconds later. I wouldn't say that's much of a warning.
Got his grumpy
Okay.
face on.
Okay.
Quit
All right,
being-
next play.
Let's get away from that one.
Quit being so sensitive, Sam.
That's not me this year. It's not me this year.
Sam, have you ever had a technical foul where somebody called you sensitive?
This year? No.
Have you had
Last
one,
year?
Ben?
Yeah, I have this year.
Last year, yes. I was a little more sensitive last year.
Well, I guess 2 of us are sensitive and 2 of us aren't, so I'm okay with that. All right, I want to go to. I've heard a lot of. I mean, we hear this every year: grumblings and fans, perception versus reality on block charge. Okay, first off, I think we all know how hard they are to call. It usually happens. Sometimes you can kind of see it coming, but a lot of times it happens pretty quick, and we got to make a split-second decision. So here's one, and honestly, as I've seen the video, I've probably changed my mind from sitting in the crowd watching this. So I'm going to show it a couple times here. It's tough, and so I guess to me, this is just a shout out to all the officials that have to do this because it's tough, and I challenge any parent to come out and try to make this call without knowing what they're doing. So here we go.
ADM, and boy, bodies there.
Oh,
and rebound out of their ADM, and boy, bodies there. And
so you can see here, it appears that she has 2 feet on the floor facing her opponent, correct? White?
Yeah.
And then she gets absolutely trucked.
Does she?
and rebound out of their ADM, and boy, bodies there. And
bodies everywhere. I mean, you can hear Todd.
To Casey's point, she does start falling before the contact.
Yeah, I got a flop.
Oh,
come on!
That's a 2-hand. Get out of here.
That is not. That's not on your bingo card, Casey. You can't say that.
Let's watch it one more time here. I want to see this.
Rebound out of their ADM, and boy, bodies there.
All right, so the definition of this play says that the defender has to be facing their opponent with 2 feet on the ground, right? Or have legal guarding position. When I watched this live, and I'm kind of sitting right up behind this play, it looked to me like the player in white moved to her right at the last second, so she would not be legal. And that's what we had. We had a block call on her. As I watched the film from a long ways away, I think she was legal. But that's kind of the nits that we're picking here is, man, it happened so fast. I thought it was one way. Now I see it, and it might be a different way. And you're asking us to make that call like that. So, I don't know. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there as reffing is hard.
Yeah,
Jim,
and restate that. You know, you talked about 2 feet on the floor, legal guarding position, and all that. I mean, because when you say just 2 feet on the floor facing the opponent, you know what everybody in fan land is thinking right now, right?
you got to be set.
You got to be set. You can't move. You know,
That's a good point.
You know,
Go ahead.
They have to have that position at some point, facing the opponent, both feet on the ground, and then they can move laterally or retreat, but not forward towards. Correct?
Right. Correct.
So there can be, this perception that's should be a fool's rule that, how many times do you hear from the crowd? Well, they weren't set. They were moving. They weren't set. Yep, you're right. They weren't set, but they were in legal guarding position, and that's why we have a charge on instead. But
where was the contact made? I always feel like, and I'm not great at block charges, but a big thing to me is where was the contact made? I'm pretty sure it's been 2 or 3 years ago. I seem to have a ton of block charges, or coaches would text me these plays, and so it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure in the rule book it says that the contact, if it's taken in the torso of the defender, it is the offensive player's responsibility, or their, So to me, if it's right here, most of the time I'm going to go charge.
That's fair.
If it's hip or shoulder, you're not legal.
Yeah, I think part of the rule also states within your frame, essentially, which to me is inside your shoulders, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if we have a knee out, that's clearly got to be a block, or something like that. Catch them on the way by. Yeah, I agree. Jim, just for you, since you mentioned,
they fooled me, Jerry.
Awesome.
Did anybody else catch Jim's comment? Fanland.
I did.
You didn't like that?
I'm gonna get shirts made that say "Welcome to Fanland."
Well, the fans are going to be, you guys, we all hear it numerous times during the year. He or she wasn't set. I mean, not only from Fanland, but how many times have you heard that from a coach or two?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
I
always think, again, are we legal, and who created the contact? So if a defender is legal and going backwards and the offense runs into them, that's where I'm like, well, that's got to be a charge because the offense created that contact on a legal defender. So there's a lot to process in that short amount of time. And
last night we had the one where player went up, coming down on kind of a fast break.
Mm-hmm.
Defender jumps, and tall kid, and blocks it. Offensive player runs in the defensive player, and he falls backwards. Not doesn't fall into the player. I have nothing but a block shot, and the coach, from the offensive team said, "Well, wasn't there contact?" And I said, "Yes, but I can't penalize the defense. He jumped straight in the air from where he was at, blocked the shot, and your kid ran into him."
Because not all contact is illegal
contact.
So it's kind of like that was probably one of the easier calls I had last night, just because there was a lot of garbage, and the kid just stood there, jumped straight in the air, blocked the shot easily, and the kid falls on the ground because he did run into the defender.
Yep. I think another part of that, Jim, to take that even further, is a lot of times, especially in the boys' game, if we have a block shot like that where somebody's driving to the hoop, that power of the block and the player that is driving creates a lot of power that goes out of bounds or down, where they may end up in a pile, but that is a result of the block and the motion,
the force of the block shot.
E equals MC squared or whatever, right?
Something like that.
So that's to me is one of those perception deals where a block shot isn't a foul always. And I think we need to be more patient with our whistles and see that whole play to say, hey, did we actually have contact that mattered, that was illegal, or did we have a block shot that just ended up in a lot of contact afterwards? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Okay, last video, kind of along the same lines. This is a play that Sam had on a similar type of drive. And what I loved about this was how patient Sam was. He let the play develop. He let the player go up to block the shot. However, in this instance, I don't think he blocked the shot, but he ended up on top of the player, the person that was driving. So he had a foul a little bit late. And again, I can see a parent blowing up, not having a whistle right away, but it's better to be patient and get this right. So here we go.
Yeah. But it's been very than the score appeals, or not as close.
Absolutely, closer than what it feels like. It's just in my opinion,
and that's more than fair.
Yeah.
But it's been very than the score.
So we got a drive coming here from trail to you. You let number 4 there try to block this. Shot gets off, but he lands on him. I love that play. I love that call.
But it's been very.
So good job, Sam.
Yeah, that was very good. Very good patience.
It's all right.
Ben, Jim, thanks. Casey. See ya.
All right, that's all I got for videos. So I guess upcoming schedule. Jim, you want to take that?
Upcoming schedule? You bet. Since it doesn't look like I'm in a whole lot of it right there, right?
Oh yeah,
too many Christmases.
Well, I am one. You just didn't put who was on it, but I know now.
Oh yeah, well that's
Mount Air versus Southwest Valley on Thursday. That'd be Ben, Sam, and Ethan Gordon,
That'd be
young
tomorrow,
official
Jim.
from Pella, who is going to be very good.
Yep.
On Thursday, that's Thursday. That's tomorrow.
Shout out to Ethan. I'm certain that he's probably better than all of us by now. So
yes,
he definitely
very,
will
very
be. Friday, this Friday we have Indianola and Norwalk at Indianola, and that is Ben and Sam and myself on that one. That'll be a fun game to do.
Casey will get lots of videos after that game, I'm sure.
And the nice thing about it is, for me at least, it's a 25-minute drive, shortest one of the year.
Same for me, Jim.
Hey, and then
hey, I'll meet you in the middle. How's that?
Hey, would you shut up while I'm doing this? People are ready to go to bed. Shut up. Then we have Christmas. And then we have New Year's. And then we start in January without me on January 3rd. Carol and Bondurant Farrar. Ben, Sam, and Casey. And then we have Gilbert and ADM. Again, Ben, Sam, and Casey. And then the next podcast will be on January 8th.
It seems like, Casey, you make us travel all the way to Carroll. So I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm making you travel all the way to Gilbert.
I've made a few trips, but it's always worth it. So that's all right.
I would think that we're coming up on some better basketball here, hopefully. And we'll see. I sure hope so anyway. But one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I kind of forgot to put on here. Did you guys see that a ref got assaulted down in Burlington this week or last weekend?
Did not.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, I don't know all the details yet. I don't know that it's been out there all that much, but Andrew Barber even mentioned it kind of in our comments there. But I did see something in passing that basically a parent went out and shoved a ref in a middle school contest.
Oh boy!
So don't do that. It's not that important.
Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Well, you may never get to watch another game by doing that. I mean, you could be.
Is that a threat, Jim? I
just saying. I think a school can ban somebody for up to a year, and then I think they can reevaluate that, or the association could probably take something into that also. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this in the past year and a half. We have a shortage of officials, in case anybody does not know that.
The game we have tomorrow night is because they couldn't get enough refs on a normal night.
Yeah.
And we're doing a favor for Scotty Giles down there at Mount Air, going tomorrow night on an off, Tuesday, Fridays are your normal nights, because he needed help filling that game. So,
and I just happened to have a home game here at Melcher Dallas to supervise. So, but so let's treat our officials a little bit better. Fans, coaches, other officials.
Yep.
Let's try to promote the game and promote the officiating profession.
We can all get better.
Oh man.
And we know we miss some calls. It happens. But
Absolutely.
Again, like as we tried to show, like some of that stuff is split second, and it's hard to do. So anyway.
I'd like to say if it was easy, everybody could do it, but Sam does do it.
And here we are.
I love it.
Now, one thing I think is cool that I don't know if it'll help, but some schools are doing officiating classes for students.
Yeah,
reps.
Yeah, and there was another school district I heard of that was doing like it was more than officiating, but they had I want to say it was Denison, but I could be wrong. They had students running the scoreboard, and the AD was like showing them how. So it was part of their like leadership class. Was
gotcha.
They were supervising and helping with. But that's a tough job too as a scoreboard, because if it's not right, somebody's going to let you know. And sometimes you have somebody new doing that too. So
shout out to our students. Our students run the junior high and JV scoreboard for all our home games. And
that's awesome.
And I have one senior who last year and this year runs the shot clock for our varsity games and does a great job. So I mean, nice for them to learn that. And I actually do have two kids who came up. I kind of said to them, hey, I could use some junior high officials and two basketball players. And they were like, yeah, we'd like to do that. So I think I'm going to look at getting them registered. And then I think we're going to try to get the reps program so they can start taking that. And, it's a great thing for kids going to college for some extra money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, especially what's being paid out there now. I mean, great money.
Yep.
I mean, they can make $400 or $500 a week easily by doing just junior high JV.
Yeah.
So
or travel stuff on a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I went and spoke to a Dowling Catholic class this past week, or last week. You remember when we had Kristen Meyer on here, the coach for Dowling girls, and she was a fantastic interview. She invited me back to talk to her class. That's a coaching and officiating class. So that was fun to go talk to them and answer their questions and kind of give them a little bit of insight into our world. So yeah, I've heard of a lot of different classes that are kind of popping up around this, and I think it's great for our future, hopefully. So
you bet.
That it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, boys.
Good work tonight, fellas.
Good to see you. You, Casey, as well.
Well, appreciate it. Have a wonderful Christmas, guys.
You too.
Same to you.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.